if you need it, this is the live version. And then if you want replay, you can just watch YouTube on your phone.
Cool. That's actually
Or
good.
I'll probably have the YouTube version on here too.
I don't know why I didn't think about that. So.
Well, you're doing with 10,000 things on Friday, so. YouTube is 30-second delay. We do that. I mean, you can change it. I don't mind the 30-second delay because number one, it's the easiest to preset. Number two is you can use YouTube as replay only without having to use replay software. Did I have the right stream key?
Yeah, I noticed that delay. It didn't seem like 30 though, but it seems
About 30. Might be 20. Stop what you're doing. If your SBS broadcast looks blurry on your laptop or desktop, do the following steps. Number 1, click on the wheel icon at the bottom right of your screen. Then click on Quality. Click on the highest quality that's available for you. And number 3, wait for your laptop to load and enjoy the broadcast. If your broadcast looks blurry on your phone or tablet, do the following steps. Number 1, click on the wheel icon located at the top right of your screen. Number 2, click on Advanced. And number 3, click on the highest quality available. If you're still having issues, type in the live chat. Thanks, and enjoy the game.
If you give your PIN or password over the phone, you might as well wallpaper your room with cash.
Why didn't you just use $1 bills?
Okay, these will come right off. It's just hot glue. But they gonna take it back, right? Here you go. Careful, careful.
Oh no, something spilled over here.
putting the cart before the horse?
Yep.
You're not supposed to do that.
Nowadays, you have to, especially in the housing market, where you need to get a mortgage before you find the house. That's why with the Get Committed program from Compass Mortgage, you'll have a fully underwritten loan commitment that stands out even amongst cash offers. Not to mention, once you find the perfect home, you could close in as little as 15 days. Hey, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink.
You're pretty big on horse metaphors, huh?
Nay.
Hi, I'm Sean Rugstad, Caldwell Banker Realty. I'm out of the Glenview, Illinois office. I left Caldwell Banker a time of transition, thinking that the grass was greener on the other side. I was gone for 2 years and I realized right away I had made a mistake. I love the culture of Caldwell Banker. It's built around the agents. That's something that I felt I was missing before. They promote success by everybody working together. Everybody can network. Everything about the company is the best.
Stop by your neighborhood Ace and we'll help you get organized. 18-gallon totes, $3.99 after $1 instant savings.
Ace is the place with the helpful hardware, folks.
They're my neighbors. Come on in, guys.
Bringing fans together. State Farm, official sponsor of Liga MX. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Good evening, everybody. Kyle Smith alongside Bob Vilsoe. It's Berber City on the road, taking on the home team, Chicago Nation FC, at beautiful College of DuPage Stadium. Partner, it's a Chicago Nation team. This is their third home match. They have not won one, but the good news is, if you want to look at the glass half full, they haven't lost one either. They have 2 draws here at COD Stadium.
Well, they're a good team, so anybody that draws with them is in pretty good shape. Anyway, so 2 draws, like you said, the home team. It's not the 80-degree weather we've been having, but it's like 69 degrees. It's dropping a little bit, but perfect weather for soccer. Now, it rained earlier, and the field is actually very wet. I talked to the players earlier before the game, and they said the field is absolutely going to be slick. The ball's going to travel fast on this fast turf.
Was there a
really
circle
because it's hard to cut left or right and stop quickly because of the wet grass or the wet turf. But it's a perfect night for soccer other than the wet field. And if we have to pick a winner here, I'm going to take Nation 3-0.
I'm going to go with Berber City on the upset. It's been a struggling Chicago Nation team. Usually they're undefeated at this point of the season. A lot of players have left this team, including Hayden Banson, who's playing for Berber City tonight. I'm going to go with the upset. I think Berber City with an upset victory, 1-0.
Well, if there's ever an upset in the making, it could be a night like tonight where the turf is different than what people are expecting. Whenever the field conditions are perfect, the weather is perfect, generally the team that's favored wins. But in inclement weather, when the ball doesn't bounce the way that you expect it, sometimes that's when the upsets occur. Now, Berber City only has like 3 players on the bench, so they've got 11 starters, including the goalie, and then 3 players on the bench, including another goalie. So that's their team. Chicago Nation, a little larger bench. Haven't counted the players, a little larger bench.
Yeah, I mean, you count them here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19 players. It's not really a deep bench either for Chicago Nation. You start 11, of course, in soccer, 8 subs. And here we go. National Anthem brought to you by Sports Broadcast Solutions. Coming up next here on SBS.
So it's a beautiful stadium here at College DuPage.
We're muted, Bob. We're muted, Bob.
Then they won't say anything.
Hold on. Back to the action at beautiful COD Stadium. I'm Kyle Smith alongside Bob Vilsoe. As Chicago Nation about to host Berb City in a very crucial game in the Midwest Central Division.
Yeah, the games were 3 points, of course, and when you get a draw, you only get 1 point. So you want to try to win one, lose one, you get 3 points, and 2 draws, you only get 2 points. But at the stadium here, we're under the canopy upstairs. It's a good thing because it was raining while we were setting up, so we were able to set everything up under the canopy. We're not in the press box, but we're in the last row, so we get a really nice elevated view of the game. And that's what the coaches like to see from the camera. They get to see the plays develop, and then, of course, listen to us talk about it. So it's a perfect night.
Chicago Nation in the white, and it'll be in the black and gray, and light blue / navy blue will be Berber City.
And we know that Berber City has like brand new T-shirts they were putting on before the game and telling us the numbers just a few minutes before the game started. So, and of course the numbers are only in the back. We like it better when the numbers are in the front and the back, but at least you can see them when they turn around.
And here we go. Game has started here at beautiful COD Stadium.
That give and go didn't work. You like the one-touch passes, but those one-touch passes, if you don't connect, it turns into a turnover. And both teams need to limit the turnovers. Berber City with the first turnover of the game. Chicago Nation now with the ball. They're going to try to reduce the number of turnovers they get as well. I think it's early in the season, so you're going to see a bunch of turnovers as they get used to each other. As every year there's turnover from roster to roster. Takes some time to get used to your teammates. In this case, a slip because of the turf being wet.
Chi Nation fell down, and it goes over to the keeper. As in net is Austin Salazar tonight for Berb City.
A big guy was standing next to him when they were turning in the numbers.
Out at the 40-yard line, Chi Nation with it. Then kicked over to the 40, stolen away by Berb City on their first attack of the night.
Yeah, and you're saying stolen away. I'm saying, not a lazy pass, but a pass that didn't connect at least, and then that caused the turnover. There's a difference between turning it over and stealing it from the other team. That was just a turnover.
As Iraqi over to Benavides, who's trying to find Iraqi.
Yep,
now over to
turnover.
Chicago Nation. Chicago Nation with it at the 45. As it's a little tap pass over to Garcia. Left-footed boot sent over to the far touchline. As it's sent up in front, read well by Berb City over to the touchline. Tap to himself, Chi Nation trying to steal, and then kicked away. Intercepting it is Chi Nation out in front. Ball loose. Who will win this battle? This time it's Berber City.
That used to happen to me all the time when I played soccer. The ball would be in front of me, I'd be behind the ball, and then suddenly there'd be a defender in between us both. But that was just tossed right out of bounds, a bad turnover. Chicago Nation now with the throw-in the front third.
Throw-in coming up. Off the leg and trying to steal that time for Berber City is 31, as they just gave us the roster 2 minutes ago.
You know, that was centered. It was a good centering pass. Didn't connect, right? But then got kicked out of bounds. Chicago Nation gets the first corner kick. So our little stats program is going to log one corner kick for Chicago Nation. Now, I like it better when they have a left-footed kicker here where it curls towards the net.
So we want our videographer to show the kick. Oh, it's on the other side. Okay.
So I also like it when it goes to the far post. So it is a left-footed kicker. Probably going to go to the far post, and hopefully they can deflect it in. We'll see.
Left-footed boot. Straight up in the air. Header try, and it's going to go wide. So the first shot of the game is a header for Chicago at about 2 feet right of the post.
And Berber City played that really well. It was going out of bounds kind of slowly. The temptation would be to play it right there, but let it go out of bounds and you get the goal kick instead of play it in a dangerous spot right next to your goal. You get a turnover there, and it's danger. So let's see if they kick it to midfield. That's what looks like it's going to happen.
As they boot it up near midfield. Off the foot, and then tapped over to the touchline.
It's always a trick to maintain possession when it gets a goal kick all the way to midfield. It's basically a 50-50 ball, right? But then they turned it over, went out of bounds again. So it's been a lot of turnovers early on so far.
Throw in from Odor, as in their own territory. Debeneghai calls for it, and he'll get it from Dosud.
He just wanted to touch the ball once this game.
Off the chest, no handball, we play on.
That was an interest. Now he fell on the ball with his hands.
Yeah, it's a good job Avoiding the handball that time by Samir Ghazi, who coming into the match leading the team in goals with 2. Zakhar Shikichenko is the team leader in goals coming into this one with 2 for Chicago Nation. On the touchline, able to accept the pass well, sent forward. Iraqi trying to win that battle. Deboneghi wants a foul called on the offense. Regardless, it's a goal kick coming up for Deboneghi.
That was well shielded to make sure the offensive player couldn't get a touch on the ball. Went out of bounds, and the goal kick for Chicago Nation. See, we knew that Deboneghi wasn't going to touch the ball only once this game.
You know, he's so good, partner. We haven't seen any other goalkeeper but him in all the years that we've provided broadcast services for Chicago Nation. It's hard to find a replacement for him, even when he's not 100%, because 75% of Deboneghi is still better than a lot of keepers in the area at 100. Left-footed pass. Trying to do a give-and-go play. Didn't get much on it, but Chi Nation still has possession. Left-footed boot. At the end of the day, partner, it's a turnover. You like the aggression, but at least get it on net.
Yeah, I do like the fact that he got a clean shot. It just obviously went over the net. That's, like you said, at the end of the day, it's a turnover. At the same time, he was leaning back, and got to keep your toe pointed down, maybe get over the ball a little bit to bring it down a bit. It was a good shot. There was no defender in the way of the ball. It just obviously went over the net. But that was a good shot. What I don't like is when people take bad shots and hit it over the net like that. He had the right angle, nobody was in between it. So it was a good shot to take. And, of course, one would think on a slippery turf you would be more apt to be on top of the ball rather than leaning back. Because when you're leaning back on turf, that plant foot can get, to go sliding a bit. You got to be careful.
As Salazar with the kick, it's headed straight up. Trying to find his teammate that time in Ghazi. As a lead pass, he was trying to find Satera. No David Sarpong tonight, partner. He has the other goal on the season. He will not start tonight, but he is on the roster, number 8, so watch out for him. For Berb City, 8 Sarpong and Samir Ghazi for Berber City. For Chicago Nation, the guys to look out for, they've spread the ball around pretty well. Shikichenko with 2 goals, Miguel Celis with 1, and William Butler with 1. Slow-moving ball, tap kick, over to the touchline. Stolen away by Chicago Nation. Shikichenko had a lot of power on that kick, but a little bit too much on it as it's going to go out of bounds.
You hit it earlier when you said slow-moving ball, and those are the ones that get stolen, and sure enough, that one got stolen.
2 shots for Chicago Nation, none for Berb City. Neither shot has been on net. 1 corner kick for Chicago, none for Berb. On the far touchline, last touch by Chicago. Berber will have it.
I feel like we're watching a slower paced game than we might normally see, possibly because the field is slippery, maybe because the teams are kind of feeling themselves out early and they'll pick up pace later, but we'll see how this goes. No score yet, not really too much in the area of a quality shot yet.
It'll be a throw-in coming up for Berber City.
I like it when the younger kids do those somersaults and throw it in on net.
That throw-in successful. Couple of headers, and Deboneghi will get it.
You know, that wasn't far from a deflection bouncing just the right way to a player on the far post, but turns out to be an easy save, and now the ball's out at midfield.
Shikichenko had it briefly. Now here comes Berber City, led by Satera. Satera, Iraqi calls forward and gets it. Right-footed boot, Iraqi tried to get it. Back over to Berber City, inside the 30-yard line. And when I say inside the 30, remember the goal is at the back end of the end zone? So when I say they're at the 30, it means they're 40 yards out from scoring. Gets a little complicated because we've done a lot of soccer games and soccer broadcasts where the goal is usually at the front end of the end zone, or we don't broadcast on a football field at all, right? So when we say 30, he's really 30 meters away from the goal. But here, when you say 30-yard line, Actually, 40 yards out.
Of course, we have a lot of fun when we're at Joliet, when the ball's in short center field or the second base area.
Yeah.
You know, the kick goes from third base to first base and deflected in.
I know the lights are in the shot. Videographer will tilt down in a second as it's over near the sideline. Passing it out in front. Cleared away by Berber. And I think that was a shot, Parter. I don't think that was a pass.
You're right. It was a shot. A little too much curl on it. I'm not saying that was a bad shot to take, especially on this kind of turf. It takes a kind of a fast skip, and if you get it toward one of the posts, it can skip past the goalie. It's easy to misjudge. It's almost like in baseball when the shortstop would get the ball and throw it to first on turf. Sometimes it's faster to bounce the ball halfway because it picks up speed with the top spin on the turf, and that's kind of what he was hoping for on that shot. It did go wide, but it was a good shot to take, even though it was a little bit too far out front, but it was straight on the net. Ooh, a little bump from behind. They're going to call that.
So foul committed by Chicago Nation.
It's the first whistle we've had on a foul.
You know, Bob, I said it was going to be an upset victory for Berber City, but they got to find a way to get some passes off, get an attack going past midfield, because right now it's 3-0 Chicago in terms of shots.
Well, it's early, and it seems like, like I said, both teams are moving slower than I feel like I remember. The Chicago Nation, their tradition is they are a speedy team and get to the ball quickly and swarm the defense and get a lot of turnovers. So far, it's been kind of an even-played game, except for those 3 shots, but all 3 of those shots have not been on net.
Out the 45-yard line. Look at that pass to Shikichenko. Shikichenko, the shot! Off the keeper and Salazar. Still a chance. And I think it hit the field goal post. We play on. The ref says it went off the crossbar. Bob, what did you see?
I saw crossbar, and what a kick. It was a bicycle kick to try to go in. And all he had to do is get around on it, one more inch, and that would have gone in.
So you heard crossbar and not field goal post.
That's what I think, too. And obviously the ref is down there close. So, but it's, the crossbar and the field goal post is about 1.5 feet apart.
Right. We've seen that before, too, where we thought that it was a goal, but the ref, this was a playoff game for Chicago Nation. We thought it was a goal because it went off the crossbar, rebound, try, and a goal, but the ref said it hit off the field goal post, which, of course, is out of play. That shot, did Devin Aghai touch it? I don't think so.
No,
if he didn't, goal kick.
Yeah, it was wide, but it was that same concept. You're kicking it low on the ground. It speeds up on the turf, right? And this one was just a little bit wide. Again, with a right-footed kick, it curls just a bit to the left, and so you have to, when you plan your shot, you want to plan it so the curl still goes into the net, or shoot at the other post and it'll curl toward the net, and that's the hard one to stop. But it's also when you're going one way, it's real hard to put your foot out further to the right to make it hit that far right post. And of course, when you look and you see where the goalie is, and you see that there's a gap between the goalie and the post, you're trying to hit it in there. A smart shot. Even though it went wide, to me, even though it's technically a turnover, right, it doesn't bother me when it's wide by a couple feet on a quality shot. But you said, 3-0 in shots, well, now 3-1.
We have 4-2 unofficially right now between Chicago Nation and Berber City.
Well, we'll say 4-2 then.
Inside the 30-yard line. Lead pass. Right on target to Shikichenko. Crosser and cleared away by Berber City. And partner right now, Berber, they're playing with fire. Eventually they're going to get burned if they keep being deep in their own territory all the time.
Well, there's a little flash burst of speed there from Chicago Nation, and that's what they're known for. And not just one player. The whole team generally has been very fast in the years that we've covered them.
Right now, Lebovich, we've had him in the postgame show before. No Isaac Sutton tonight, Bob. So somebody else like Lebovich and Devin Aghai has to step up to the table, Butler included, without Sutton tonight.
Yeah, I like Sutton. He plays multiple positions. You'll see him oftentimes on defense, and later on they'll move up. So a very versatile player.
Shikichenko, he plays a lot, including for forward Madison. So he is getting some looks from USL 2 and USL champions.
Well, he's one of the best players here. You can see why he's getting those looks. Good steal.
Played his college soccer at Governor State. And we finally have been clarified how we determine a soccer game or a football match. It is not a soccer match, and it is not a soccer pitch. It is either a soccer game or a football pitch.
And of course, we're getting into religion with that, right? But
when we talked to, I forget the name we had for the postgame show. But
was it not Butler? I think it might have been Butler that.
No, it was the guy from England. And he scored 2 goals in that postseason game against Detroit United.
And that wasn't Butler?
No.
Okay.
No. That's when they destroyed Detroit. Remember Detroit committed 2 red cards? Chicago Nation dominated 6-0 win to advance to the round of 16.
Yeah, red cards don't help you win games.
It's a Chicago Nation team, Bob. They have very high expectations, but they're also rebuilding. They've lost Sutton. I mean, Sutton's getting up there. I think he's in his 30s now. And, you know, it's a pay-to-play league, so these guys have full-time jobs, and sometimes you're going to get a lot of turnover, and that's what's happened to Nation the last couple of years. But they've been as far as the championship match in the UPSL.
Yeah, and that's not easy to get to.
You know, working a full-time job, then you got to play a Saturday match. Not easy.
And you have to work out in between.
Go to practice. Salazar's definitely been tested. Right now, 5 shots for Chicago Nation. Problem is, none of them have been on goal.
Well, I was going to kind of tease about that, him being tested, right? If there wasn't a goalie there, the score would still be 0-0.
Right.
Yeah.
But,
No,
you know,
actually,
I
that's
mean,
not
you
true.
still have to move around.
He had that one shot that he saved with his leg.
I think they're going to say it was partially deflected by the defense before. They're also saying that Shidkichenko was a pass, not a shot, because there was a forward in the area. It was a tough angle shot for Shidkichenko. It was like 30 to 35 degree angle shot. Straight up in the air.
Oh, boy.
Out to the 30-yard line, tap pass.
And the speed of the ball is probably going to take it out of bounds. And that's the shame. You play on grass, that's a perfect pass. You play on turf like this, it goes out of bounds and a turnover.
Remember, Burb City has a lot of matches to make up. So this match might mean more to Berber City, because when you have to play, let's say, 2 matches in 3 days, you want to win this kind of match where you've had a lot of prep time and practice time to get ready for it.
That's the thing about this league. You know, every game matters a lot. There's not that many games, and if, 3 points versus 0 points can be the absolute difference between winning the first place, coming in last place. Every point matters. Every goal matters.
Little crosser and no one home to retrieve it.
Yeah, I don't know about that send. I like to control the ball a little bit more, move it up with short, crisp passes, and have, rather than just send random shots forward. Now you've given up the ball. Here's another send. It seems like you only get like a quality shot or any kind of a shot every 3 minutes. And so when you give up the turnover, you have to wait 3 minutes before you get another chance for another quality shot.
Look at that move by Iraqi. In his late 30s now, still doing it. Age is just a number for some athletes.
There's a 2-on-5.
Nice pass.
Yeah.
Here comes Shy Nation.
He did a great job waiting for some help to come forward.
Shidkichenko.
It's trouble.
Got the pass off. Tap pass. Shidkichenko. He scored. Oh, no, it missed. I can't believe he missed.
The curve on the ball is why you didn't think it went in. The kick was headed right toward the net, but the left-footed spin took it away from going into that goal. Nice shot. I love the way he lifted over the goalie like that, but obviously just missed the net. He's going to kick himself tonight when he goes to sleep. That looks like a goal he, feels like he should have had.
It's a tough angle shot. The keeper forced him into a tough shot, but Shidkichenko, he can make those.
Oh, there's the turnover.
And if you're a Berber fan, you'd like to have more ball possession. It's been heavy Chicago Nation in the first 19 minutes of soccer.
Well, and one of the reasons for that is when they're sending the ball randomly upfield. I mean, sure, you win some real estate, but you lose the possession time, and I think the possession time is more important than the location of the ball on the field.
Nobody touched that shot by Shidkichenko, so right now, 6 shots for Chicago Nation, none on goal.
Well, except for that one where the goalie stuck his leg out and it bounced over it. that you're calling the pass.
So we're going to get that clarified as our stat crew guy will edit the play. It's going to be 6 shots, 1 on goal for Chicago. Guys to watch out for Berber, Satera 14. Iraqi, we've talked about him a lot.
Now, what we're also missing in tonight's game is usually there's a couple, 2 or 3 kids behind the goals, getting the ball when it goes past the net. But here, nope, the goalie had to go run and get that one.
That's what happens when it rains, right? The
right.
people you had, they're no longer here. But now it's just beautiful weather for soccer.
No, it sure is. This is a wet field. It'll dry off soon. There's a slip due to the wet field, no doubt.
Gets it over to the near touchline as leading the attack is Alami. Alami, his pass. I think he got a little bit too cute with it, Bob. I'd like to see him shoot, but Chicago still has possession.
Yeah, I can't say I disagree with you. It was a nice flip pass in the middle, trying to get a better shot. Maybe he just should have blasted from there. This one's not cleared out far enough, so Chicago Nation's going to maintain control.
Owador has it now. He's got one of the coolest names in the UPSL. That crosser off the body. Good job avoiding the handball.
Yeah, just don't push in the box. You don't need to lose a goal that way.
Chicago keeping the pressure on, Bob, to the point where Berber City might make a mistake and slide tackle in the box.
A little surprised that pass didn't go off to the right, but that's okay. They still have the ball.
On the far touchline, one of the few chances that Berber City has had tonight. Little hesitation move.
I like that they're holding it here. Well, until then.
Off the foot. Shot.
See, that's the turnover that I don't like. That was a kick that just wasn't well played. And the kick went out of bounds. You lose the ball, and you had the ball for a while. You want to keep the ball away from Chicago Nation, so ball control is kind of the name of the game. And they gave it up there too easily. So Chicago Nation with the ball, and it'll be another 3 minutes before your Berber City gets a quality shot on goal.
So the shot, it looked like it was by Iraqi, which would be number 9.
That's why I think young coaches will tell players, you want to pass it into the net. You don't want to overkick it. Just pass it into the net. And then generally the pass is straighter than a hard shot, is the theory when you're teaching young players soccer.
On the far touchline. A little bit of a dangerous pass, Bob, but got enough velocity on it to make up for it.
Yeah, I agree. I didn't like that pass. All right, Berber City with the ball back. It's not going to be 3 minutes before they have another shot on net here if they keep control of it.
What's the rule of thumb when you've got opposing players around the ball, you're going to pass it backwards, put a lot of velocity on that pass?
There's a good tackle.
Got to be careful. That was close to the box, if not in the box.
Yeah, got to make sure you get the ball first. Then you can destroy the other guy.
That yellow line is the box. As it's close to it.
Yeah, that was like a 1-on-3. And wise to go back with it. Again, maintain control. Keep the pressure on.
So, Bob, we're in America, but technically soccer was invented in Europe. Do we call it the 16-meter box or the 18-yard box?
Yeah, if you're that's a great question. But if you're in America, you call it yards, and if you're overseas, you call it meters.
But if it's mainly a European game, or I guess we should say match, if it's a European match, should we always use meters and never use yards?
Well, and then the rest of it is how did they measure it? Because it is a little bit different. It's 18 meters and 16 meters and 18 yards. But yeah, if you're in America, I think you use yards, and if you're overseas, you use meters.
Inside the 25-yard line, tap pass, read well by Chicago Nation. They'll clear out of bounds. And even though it's Berber City ball, I like that Chicago Nation wasn't being too cute with it, just got it out and restructure and regroup on defense off the throw-in.
And again, Berber City has controlled the ball well in the last X number of minutes here. Chicago Nation has to be a little bit concerned with the lack of ball control, although they have had more shots towards the net. There's a trip. No call. Nothing. Goes out of bounds. No call on that trip. We're assuming you hit the ball first. That's why. The throw in with Berber City continuing to maintain possession. This is where you got to be careful. You're going to kick it back. You have to kick it back faster than the other team's striker can steal the ball.
Berber still with it. Now Chicago looking to steal. Tried to tap it to himself, did Alame, but defending him on the play 13 said nothing of it. That's Christian Tellis. And then over to the near touchline. Left-footed boot. Here comes Berber again. Stolen away. Back and forth we go.
I was thinking the very same thing. It's a back and forth game right now.
It's Chicago in favor in terms of the goal. I mean, the shots. We almost had a goal from Shitkichenko. Falling to the pitch.
Yeah, again, I kind of like the no call, especially in a game where you haven't had a lot of physicality, right? So you maybe give them a little bit of latitude. There's the second time we see a whistle.
Going to be a handball committed by Benavides. Probably pronounced Benavides.
Yeah, you don't see whistles, you hear whistles.
What did I say?
No, I said this is the second time we see a whistle.
Well, I mean, technically you're right because we see him putting the whistle to his mouth. So you're not wrong. It's just weirdly phrased, but it's correct.
You're very generous on that.
All right. I mean, it's a television broadcast, right? We see him putting the whistle to his mouth. If this were a radio broadcast, that'd be a little awkward because we can't see it as you're announcing it.
Oh, stolen back. That was a nice little blocked pass. Went flying to the deck for no apparent reason. I wonder what happened. No yellow card. Wasn't touching the ball. This is one of those you want to play back. How did the Berber City player go flying on that play?
You know, I'm watching it on replay right now and just kind of fell down. I mean, maybe a little bit of a touch, but wasn't much, if at all.
See, I like that pass. Oh, not that pass, though.
It was not much on the touch. Meanwhile,
yeah, you got to be crisp with your passes.
Off the body. It's happened a lot where the ball's been off the chest and both teams doing a good job having it go off your chest and not leading with your arm or hand. A handball cost Chicago House Athletic Club the 2024 Heartland Conference. They were playing for the championship against RWB Adria, and they committed a handball in their own 18-yard box. But that's what happens, right? You don't want to force crossers, but sometimes when you do a good crosser, you put the defense in a tough spot and they accidentally handball, and that's what happened. RWB Adria did the crosser, and then they got the goal off the penalty kick. There's this little bit of a pseudo corner. Oh, that's danger, and that shot.
Another wide shot. I'm not going to say that's a bad wild shot, except I think it needs to just be on net. And you were talking about the crossers where you can get a handball on it. The other place it happens in the penalty area, and I'm a little surprised players don't try to do this more. If you maintain possession and kind of go sideways with the ball, not really toward the net, sometimes defenders will do a slide tackle, and if you play your cards right, you can get tackled without them hitting the ball, and then you get the penalty kick. So sometimes those penalty kicks are they're maybe a cheap foul, but they are definitely a complete 100% goal. Well, maybe not 100%, because I guess everybody doesn't always make the penalty kick.
And I said danger, because a Chicago Nation player fell hard to the pitch after he did the header.
It was a nice defensive play, though. That's what sent the ball to safety.
Right. Taking one for the team, getting that ball out of danger area.
Well, that's why he's paid the big bucks, to save that ball.
Nice move.
Yeah.
That time by Udor.
Here's where you need those passes to connect.
Shitkichenko. That ball's still loose, and Salazar got enough of it to create inertia to the point where he could just get it on the rebound try.
Well, and that's what we were talking about. Those kicks off the turf that almost make the ball speed up is what happened there. And he aimed it at the just barely inside the post. That almost went in. Another couple of inches would have been a goal. Meanwhile, the ball's all the way back at the other end.
So Shitkichenko, we should have 7 shots, as Shitkichenko 30 had it.
Yeah, that was another on-goal shot, and boy, it almost had eyes. Back to the goalie. It's hard to receive those long, low, and I mean long, low passes. You have to somehow knock it down and keep the defender away from the ball at the same time. That was well done by Berber City.
Over to the near touchline. Left-footed boot. There's a crosser, and Redwell again falling to the pitch yet again. It's been a little bit of a tough night right now for Ezekiel Desoud, but he is battling hard for his team tonight.
Yeah, I don't know if I like that call. He voluntarily jumped into the air to kick that ball. I don't think he was pushed in any way, but again, I'm farther away. It could be he was pushed from behind or something like that, but he definitely took a tumble after he kicked the ball. And the centering pass, I mean, you like to see the centering pass, but that was a 1-on-3 centering pass. There was, one Berber City player and 3 defenders. I think when you see 3 defenders and you're passing into that, it's probably better to hold it, find another way to get the ball toward the net, not go 1-on-3 on a crosser. But nonetheless, it was a legitimate attempt.
3 fouls committed by Berber, just 1 for Chicago, and just 1 corner kick thus far in the half.
Yeah, it's been a quiet game, I'll say, statistically. Not a lot of flags, 1 corner. Only 2 shots have been saved.
Shitkichenko, he's had opportunities. He's been their go-to forward to get the ball to. We'll probably see Hayden Vanson in the second half, as Berber City needs offense. Meanwhile, they need defense. Here comes Chicago, and Berber needs they get the much-needed steal there. Falling to the pitch. Right on target with the pass. Crosser. Read well by Berber. Still in a scoring opportunity for Chicago, and that shot easily saved by the keeper in Salazar.
Yeah, that gets a little scary. Chicago Nation with the ball. Definitely it stole it back after Berber City had it.
Past the 20, retrieved by Chicago.
Yeah, again, another pass into 1-on-3.
As that pass is accepted by Flores. Flores with it. Right-footed boot. Near the 40, played by Alami. Inside the territory, as here comes Chicago, fall to the pitch. And the ref says he did it on his own accord.
Well, I like the no call. That would have been a steep penalty to call, even if he was tripped a little bit or there was some contact that caused him to go to the ground. Of course, he played it off well, but I like the no call on that. I feel like there's no real danger for there being discord, and I feel like that has to be part of a penalty kick call, too. There has to be some level of danger.
It looked like he was starting to fall down before a potential trip happened.
Yeah, it's probably totally the case he fell down without being pushed, but sure sold it well.
The thing is, even if there's contact, if you started to fall down before there was contact, then no penalty kick will be awarded.
Right.
It's got to be a clean trip, and that's pretty much the same thing in hockey. Is if you're starting to fall down and then somebody tugs at your shin, well, you're already starting to fall down before the tug.
Well, they do play soccer inside hockey arenas.
Those are fun. That was what was that team called?
Chicago Sting.
Yeah, and then
love those guys.
Wasn't the big rivalry Chicago Sting against the Milwaukee Wave?
Well, there was a rivalry for sure.
Wasn't that the biggest rivalry in the indoor soccer league?
Yeah, back then. Yeah, too long ago to remember, but yeah, I remember that rivalry for sure.
Tap pass back to his keeper in Salazar.
I was actually alive when those teams used to play.
Back when dinosaurs roamed the earth.
Now I'm the dinosaur.
That's why your favorite movie is Jurassic Park, because you can relate to the main characters in it.
No, those are my relatives.
Those are your relatives? Okay. That movie is so great. It's even though it was made in 1993, a long time ago, just the cinematography and the graphics, the CGI, it still stands the test of time in 2024.
Meanwhile, Nation has the ball for kind of a long time here again in the offensive zone.
Owador, he's double teamed, gets through it greatly, falls to the pitch. Even if the fall is called, which the whistle is blown, it will be a free kick. It will not be a penalty kick.
Yeah, I feel like he smartly pushed him from behind, relatively on purpose, outside the box, because he had beaten the 1-on-2 double team. If he had taken 2 more steps, he would have been inside the penalty box area, and oh boy, that's rough.
This is going to be a tough free kick if you want to try to do a pseudo corner. What you could do, Bob, is try to kick it back 5 meters and then do a corner kick where you have more space.
Yeah, I think if I'm them, I'm going to hit it either, lift it to the far post, hope for a deflection, or try to hit it as hard as I can to the far post and just hope the wall isn't strong enough to get in the way. Let's see what he does do. Goalie's in the middle, not on the near post. The defenders need to stay on the ground.
That kick, and Salazar touched it. Surprisingly, got that on net. That was nice.
Yeah,
header and fell on his own accord. No foul.
Yeah, it was at a tough angle, so it wasn't like the net was really that wide. Salazar was in the middle of the net. He wasn't on the near post. Sometimes goalies like to be at the near post. Made a good save. He knew not to try to catch the slippery ball. Just hit it away as safely as you can.
So as of now, we have 9 shots, 3 on goal. There was a shot and a save and then a header that went wide.
Yeah,
so
Nation is definitely winning the statistics battle, but of course the battle that counts is the scoreboard.
We saw it 2 weeks ago. The Bears only had 150 total yards. They still somehow won the game. Same thing in soccer. Berber can still very much win this match. Crosser, off the head. Still a chance for Chicago. In the end zone.
In the end zone. You don't see the Bears there very often.
How long you been holding that one in?
Now here again, Berber City's going, but they don't have numbers. So I would turn it around and work it up more slowly, see what they do. Yeah, here they did that. All right, good.
They were as close to the end zone as possible today on 2 different occasions. It didn't score either time. We'll talk about that at the halftime show. They're playing well, Parter. It's a Berber team. They're not as talented as Chicago, but they're playing well tonight. Nice move. Alami, lead pass, in the box.
Ooh.
And that was a shot. It's wide and high. And Salazar telling his defensive teammates, you got to help me out, man. That was almost an odd man rush.
Yeah, that was one of those defenders just did the bull ring thing, just olay and let him go by. Then it's an odd man rush. That kick was barely wide, obviously aiming for the upper right corner of the net.
What does the coaching staff for Chicago think about these stats? They have 12 shots, but only 4 of them are on goal.
Yeah, I mean, you're going to tell your players you have to take a higher quality shot. You can't just you need to blast it at the goal. Eventually one of those is going to go through, but you can't keep kicking it wide. All you're doing is turning the ball over. If you kick it on goal, and even if the goalie saves it, lots of times there's rebounds and other things can happen. Hold the ball a little longer in the box. Maybe you get a penalty called, but, yeah, don't just kick it wide. You got to be careful. I mean, that's a turnover. Your team worked hard to get you the ball in that box, and for you to go, lackadaisically kicking it away out of bounds. That's not how you win games.
Back to the keeper in Salazar. This is a guy that used to play for Chicago Nation. He's been around the bend, played for a lot of different teams. A lot of pushing and shoving, and they're going to play advantage in favor of Berber. And in Spanish, Parter, do you know what the verb berber means?
I'm not real good at Spanish.
You're not good at a lot of things. Except color commentary. That's why we keep you on. Berber means
I
to
would
drink.
know what color the bear is, but I wouldn't know what the Spanish word for it would be.
Yeah.
What was it?
To drink. Fakes the shot.
See, I like the way they held it.
Shitkichenko, got to get the shot on net. Took too long. Rebound try.
It went in.
Goal!
Yeah, see, they held the ball longer, and I like that. Remember we were talking about what they need to do different? They held the ball longer in the box, let the play out. They had numbers. The rebound, the deflections went their way.
Goal scored on the play. As Chicago Nation with a beautiful goal to make it 1-0.
So they didn't need to change anything. They continued with the pressure, continued to take shots. That one was finally on net, and it went in. So now Nation with a 1-0 lead. We're getting closer and closer to my 3-0 prediction. So Berber City is going to have to press now. They've only got 3 people sitting on the bench here, so substitutions aren't going to help a whole lot.
It's going to be credited to Alami. Nope, I apologize. Not Alami. And it was a kind of a pseudo bicycle kick. He was in midair when he kicked it. Forwards on this team.
Yeah,
for Chicago.
Sometimes you have to do that. One touch, get it in. These players are too good. If you take the ball down and hold it too long, you end up with the turnover.
It should be for Chicago Nation, one of their forwards. And it should be Miguel Celis that scored. That's number 7. So 1-0 Chicago.
Yeah, they called a handball in Berber City. I actually thought it was a handball in Chicago Nation, but not much of an argument, and here we go. Good pass into the corner again. Centered. Wide. I think he had it in mind. I'm going to kick this toward the net no matter what. So the goalie has to go run and get the ball again because we don't have kids on that side either. Behind the net. Can't be past their bedtime.
Well, you know, when Chicago Nation has so many shots, 14, 6 on goal. Now we're getting close to that 50% mark that most teams want.
Well, I would be that coach that says, you know, there's really no excuse to kick anything wide. But to get goals, you can't be kicking it at the goal. You can't kick it at the center of the net. You are going for the edges. Obviously, sometimes you're going to miss those. But, yeah, you have to have a higher percentage of shots on net because every one of those 8 shots that didn't go on net is a turnover. And you worked hard to get that shot.
It's been a lot of action for Salazar. He now has 5 saves on 6 shots on goal. Pretty good percentage.
Yeah, in soccer, that is a good percentage. It's not like hockey.
Yeah.
Got a little tiny goalie.
Yeah, remember, it's a smaller arena. It's easier to get the shot on net. You're using your hands. You're using a stick on a puck. That's why they call soccer the beautiful game. When you score, man, it's very rare do you get that ding off a goalie and then a rebound try. It's usually a beautiful pass, a corner kick. It's usually like a shot. It's usually not a shot that goes off the hand and then a rebound right to your forward. Devin Eghai lost it. Rebound try. Turnaround kick. Goal! Samir Ghiazi, his 3rd of the season at Partner. That was kind of a mistake by Devin Eghai. He should have had that ball.
Well, arguably should have had it. Yeah, right. But again, the ball is very slippery on this turf, and it probably slipped out of his hands because the stickum on the gloves didn't work on the slippery ball. I'm kidding about the stickum. But anyway, he obviously didn't catch it. The rebound was there. There was a whiff on the rebound, then a reset, and Devin Eghai was still on the ground. It was nicely kicked away from him and in the net. Great rebound. But more importantly, Berber City's tied the score up 1-1. So Berber City had been relatively outplayed in the game, especially in terms of shots on. And then when Nation buried that one shot, Berber City is probably thinking, oh, what do we got to do? Well, they came out of that with the right mentality and got a shot off right away and a goal. Kicked from behind, no penalty called.
What a break if you're a Berber City fan. It looked like you were going to be down at least 1-0. And Devin Eghai made a good effort, just didn't finish the play. And sometimes when you don't finish the play, you allow rebound tries for the opposing team.
Well, and there was a player there for the rebound, so that's
2.
part of it too, right? Well, yes, there were 2. That's why you want to take shots when you have numbers.
It seemed like a simple crosser. I think he just misread it.
Well, it's one of those, it's never a bad shot to take a shot on goal, but in soccer, that's a turnover usually. I mean, but the shot was far enough away from Devin Eghai. He had to dive, and it just didn't,
do you think it was even a shot, or was it just a crosser pass that Devin Eghai misread? It was from the far touchline, from a tough angle, and easy for Devin Eghai to read.
Yeah, I think if we were in the brain of the shooter on that, I think he was hoping for exactly what did happen. Kick it on goal, hope for a rebound, and then go from there, because that was not a pass. And yet, he was too odd of an angle to think that it wasn't going to get caught. But, sometimes you just take that shot and stuff happens.
You surprised Devin Eghai came out to get that ball instead of letting it cross the end line for the goal kick?
Oh, gosh, no, not at all. I think from Devin Eghai's perspective, he had a beat on the ball. He had to dive to get it, but it hit both hands. He probably absolutely thought he was going to catch it. And I'm not kidding. I think that ball
I meant right over there when it came out of his net.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, yes. Speaking of the goalie, I really think he thought he was going to catch that, and the slippery ball just went through his hands, and that's all it was.
But I thought Belichick said, no excuses, no days off.
Let's see. Belichick tried to play soccer.
The famous saying, of course, from Belichick, we're on to Cincinnati. Look at this pass. Chance for Chicago. What a slide tackle on defense.
And that's a risk, because if you get the ball first, you're safe. But if you don't get the ball first, there's a penalty kick coming, and it's a tie game. But great defensive play.
Sure was. Jared Block on the defensive play to slide tackle, get the ball away from Shikachenko. That could have been the game winner. I know we're only in the first half, but it's been a low-scoring affair thus far.
Well, I don't know. 1-1 is not exactly low scoring, and I think it's too early to write off a 2-1 lead as a win.
And that will do it for halftime. Are you surprised no extra time? We ended at 45-10 on our game clock.
Yeah, usually it got a couple 2 or 3 minutes. There were none. But you know what? At the end of the day, there really wasn't anything that stopped the clock. There were no injuries.
Yeah, we don't have any ball boys, so when the ball would go past the end line, the keeper would have to get it. So you would think you'd get a minute or two maybe of extra time.
Yeah, I'm with you. I would have put I probably would have put 2 minutes extra. You know, you have to get 45 seconds to go shag the ball, especially because you don't have some kids back there. But anyway, we are at halftime 1-1 in a very, very close, great game. I mean, sure, Chicago Nation has taken it to Berber City, but Berber City had numbers on that goal, and they swarmed the net just as well. And they were fortunate they whiffed on that first rebound, because then they had a second rebound attempt that did go in.
14 shots to just 5 for Berber City. 6 on goal, just 2 on goal for Berber. But all that matters, partner, is the score on the Jumbotron. 1-1. Whoever can score the second goal might win this match. We'll find out in 20 minutes from now. We're going to take a 2-minute break, then we're going to give you some halftime stats brought to you by Stat Crew. You're watching SBS, the broadcasting network for everyone.
If you give your PIN or password over the phone, you might as well wallpaper your room with cash. Why didn't you just use $1 bills?
Okay, these will come right off. It's just hot glue. The bank will take it back, right? Here you go. Careful, careful.
Oh no, something spilled over here.
Hi, I'm Sean Rugstead, Caldwell Banker Realty. I'm out of the Glenview, Illinois office. I left Caldwell Banker a time of transition, thinking that the grass was greener on the other side. I was gone for 2 years, and I realized right away I had made a mistake. I love the culture of Caldwell Banker. It's built around the agents. That's something that I felt I was missing before. They promote success by everybody working together. Everybody can network. Everything about the company is the best.
Stop what you're doing. If your SBS broadcast looks blurry on your laptop or desktop, do the following steps. Number 1, click on the wheel icon at the bottom right of your screen. Then click on Quality. Click on the highest quality that's available for you. And number 3, wait for your laptop to load and enjoy the broadcast. If your broadcast looks blurry on your phone or tablet, do the following steps. Number 1, click on the wheel icon located at the top right of your screen. Number 2, click on Advanced. And number 3, click on the highest quality available. If you're still having issues, type in the live chat. Thanks, and enjoy the game.
Hi, my name is Dr. Mike Nolan.
And I'm Dr. Chad Friend.
And we are
Nolan and Friend Dental Professionals.
My experience has been great. My son had come here first, and we had such a good experience that I brought my daughter back.
What I love about coming here is that as soon as I check in, it's like 5 seconds in, and they're like already calling me to the back. I do like the girls in the back. They're very nice, and they're fun to talk to.
When I first walk in, the welcome staff says hello to me, and I go up there to do the check-in, and then I can sit down if I want. There's charging ports, or I can go to the game room and play games in there.
I like how you can brush your teeth when you forget, and then after that you can play games.
When I get called, I go back and they do my braces. I can pick different colors, and you get Patilla points, which you can exchange for real-life rewards. I got a gift card for Amazon, and I'm saving up for another one, so that way I can go and buy some stuff for Disney World. And then I go and get hot chocolate, which they've got in the lobby, and then I'm done. I'm going to be starting my second phase of braces soon, and my teeth will be straight, and it's going to help me with my confidence.
I am looking forward to straighter, better teeth that I can enjoy and show off to people when I smile.
We're known as Levin Tire, but we're so much more than just a tire dealer. At Levin Tire and Service Center, we do oil changes, brakes, alignments, engine and electrical work, and much more. And of course, we're the best choice for tires, with a wide variety from the industry's most trusted manufacturers. Plus, you'll get customer service like a small business with pricing better than a national chain. Visit one of our 6 locations today. We're more than just tires. Levin Tire and Service Center, since 1918, earning your trust one day at a time.
Welcome to the Halftime Show, brought to you by Sports Broadcast Solutions. I'm Kyle Smith alongside Bob Vilsoe. Stat Crew Stats brought to you by Stat Crew. It was a very good half for Munir Alami. He had 4 shots. 2 of those were on goal. For Miguel Celis, he was great. 2 shots, 1 on goal, and of course he had the lone goal for Chicago Nation. Kavi Garcia, 3 shots. 3 shots for Shidkichenko, 2 on goal. So we were talking about the percentages, what will be good, what won't be good for Chicago. Shidkichenko has definitely been there and then some for Chicago Nation in terms of getting the shots on goal. For Berber City, they have 2 players with 2 shots. Van Son with 2 and Giazzi with 2. Giazzi with the lone goal for Berber City, and then Benavides with 1. So 14-5 in terms of shots, 6-2 in terms of shots on goal. What do you think of those stats, partner? Anything that was a little bit interesting to you?
Oh, very. But let me start out with this. I'm trying to make a joke, but it won't be that funny. So when he was trying to Berber City was trying to kick the ball toward the goal and whiffed on it, do we count that as a 5th shot? Because
What?
he on the ball that he tried to kick toward the goal, and he whiffed on it. Do we count that as a
Well, no,
shot?
because I think the directory of it was going to go out of play.
You missed the part where I was trying to make a joke.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah. Oh, okay.
Yeah. So when you kick the ball and you whiff, it doesn't go in the net. Does that count as a shot? Just didn't go toward the net. But yeah, what sticks out at me is the Chicago Nation is absolutely controlling the game in terms of the offense. And they had so many shots on goal, but the first several were wide, and they have to straighten those shots out. And then during the middle of that first half, when we were talking about it, right, that the shots need to be straightened out on goal, even if you get it to the goalie, because it's a turnover if you miss the net. And stuff happens when it hits the goalie, rebounds and deflections. And that's actually how Berber City got its goal. That was a kind of a relatively safe shot on goal, but it was just off a little bit too far out of Devin Eghai's reach, bounced off his hands, and then the rebound happened. So if I'm Chicago Nation, I'm thinking to myself, well, I don't really want to make any adjustments to our alignment or to our organization, and really maybe a little bit more hustle would be nice, but we have to hold the ball a little longer, not give up as many turnovers, and our shots when we aim at the net need to be on net, not wide. And I think those would be the minor adjustments the Chicago Nation would need to make. They only need to get one more goal. As for Berber City, they're going to be running out of gas a little bit. They've only got the 3 subs. So everybody's playing the whole game for the most part, right? And their goal, even though it went in and it still counts, I feel like it was a little bit fortunate, right? So that kick was wide and Devin Eghai didn't corral it. But other than that, there hasn't been much else going for Berber City. So Berber City, what do they need to do? They need to control the ball, short, quick passes. Don't let the ball do the running, not the players do the running. That way they don't run out of gas, right? And eventually get a high quality shot. Or another strategy would be try to get the ball into the penalty box area and then pull a LeBron James and see if you can get a free throw at the penalty shot, and try to get a goal that way. So it's going to be a close game. I started out with a 3-0 prediction. You were talking about whoever gets the next goal is likely to win the game, and at this point that may very well be.
1-1 is the score right now. If you're the coaching staff for Chicago Nation, led by Garrett Hayward, what do you tell your young men? It looked like you were going to have a 1-0 lead, a mistake by Devin Eghai. Now you got to pick up your goalkeeper and see what you can do.
Yeah, this is like we said too. Shorter, quicker passes, a little bit more control. Don't kick it wide, and stay with the game plan that we've got. Just try to improve. Every one of you just improve a little bit more hustle, a little bit more accurate pass, a few fewer turnovers. And I think it's going to be those little things. Now, some coaches are going to go crazy and think like, oh my God, we should be ahead 5-0 or something, but they're not ahead 5-0, right? So therefore, it must be the lack of hustle being displayed out there. So you guys are playing badly because you're not hustling enough. So I don't know what Chicago Nation coaching staff is going to say, but I'm a little bit more of a technical person in the sense that I think you just make the quicker passes and control the ball and don't kick it wide. Kick it on goal would be the positive way to say it. That's the adjustments I think we'll see Chicago Nation. But I think Berber City is going to be up against it because Chicago Nation is going to be mad that they had a 1-0 lead and let it slip on kind of a freak goal. So they're going to work really hard to get that lead again, and Berber City is going to have to weather that storm.
We're going to take a quick break. Second half coming up next here on SBS, a broadcasting network for everyone.
If you give your PIN or password over the phone, you might as well wallpaper your room with cash. Why don't you just use $1 bills?
Okay, these will come right off. It's just hot glue. The thing will take it back, right? Here you go. Careful, careful.
Oh no, something spilled over here. I just saw super low interest rates on Facebook. Maybe I can refinance my butter hot tub.
Yes on the butter, no on the link, Karen. Social media scams rob Americans every year. You're giving away your money to a hacker in a hoodie.
That's a negative stereotype, and we don't appreciate it. I'd like to speak to their manager.
You're actually the manager of protecting your identity. Learn more at banksneveraskthat.com.
Okay. Gary, we need more baguettes.
Second half about to start. I'm Kyle Smith alongside Bob Vilsaway. If you like tonight's broadcast and you're wondering what Sports Broadcast Solutions is, we're a broadcasting network for everyone. Check out our website at sportsbroadcastsolutions.com or search Sports Broadcast Solutions on YouTube and or Google. SBS, a broadcasting network for everyone.
Wow, that was like a perfect commercial.
This isn't my first rodeo, partner. You ever been to Dallas, Bob?
Oh, many times, especially for work.
It's a great place. Great steaks, great barbecue.
Yep, I walked around the book repository. You know, this is a fun place to be.
Did you go to a rodeo when you were in Dallas or Houston?
As a matter of fact, I did.
Did you like it or not your thing?
No, it's a fun event. Really fun event. Of course, the animals are unpredictable. Anything can happen. That was a lot of fun.
Talk about animals being predictable. Aren't your pets kind of unpredictable too?
Well, not my cats. They're creatures of habit. But, and the other real cool thing about Dallas is nearby, Gillies Bar. I don't know if that's still there or not. That was a great place to go after work.
So here we go. Second half. How will Chicago Nation adjust? As a mistake by Debeneghay. See how he plays in the second half. He wasn't really tested that much in the first half. Just 2 saves for him in that first half. Actually, 1 save, and the other that was on goal. We did not have any extra time in that first half. And we don't want to have ties. At least we try to avoid them. So we'll see at least a couple minutes of extra time in the second half. Foul called on Berber City. And Berber hates the call. Hayden Van Son committed it.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of the call either. The Chicago Nation kind of ran into him and then fell.
Left-footed boot, goes wide. Maybe a little bit too aggressive there, Bob.
Yeah, the goalie not happy about that because that was kind of a clean shot, and it could have hit that upper right corner. So
the goalie wasn't happy, or
no, the goalie was not happy with that shot. That shot never should have been able to have been launched from there, and it could have hit that corner. It was a hard hit shot from almost straight on. It was a pretty good shot to take, even though it went wide. That wasn't one of those lame turnovers I'm talking about. That had a meaningfulness behind that shot.
Both teams, they're not high-flying offenses this season, early on in the season. Just 3 goals for Berber and 4 for Chicago. Chicago coming in. This is their 5th match, 3rd for Berber. Falling to the pitch, another foul. That time I think it's the right call.
Well, again, the player's out of control. Berber City's not going to say much about it, but, well, they are saying something about it. But, you're out of control and you fall down and then you get a penalty called or, I don't know if I like that one either. I think when you go to the turf on your own accord, you can't just bump into somebody and say he knocked me over. Whatever, another free kick. It's intercepted. Well, not quite intercepted.
Just a beautiful complex at College of DuPage Stadium, home of the Chaparrals. Don't say Chaparrals. You won't make it back home after the game.
Well, as far as I know, this is the largest community college in the nation. They have very good teams, a lot of teams. They still have a football program here, too.
Yep, they've won a couple of national titles. Shot. Goal! Zaha, Shidkichenko. Bob, when they need a big goal, that's who they turn to.
Well, that was that kick we were talking about. A low kick, skidding on the ground on this speedy turf, and to the corner. It was a perfect kick. He had eyes, and he kicked on top of it well enough to keep the ball from going with a bend to it. It's a perfect shot on goal, again from out front. So I'm sure that goalie is saying, "Oh my gosh, you guys got to stay in the way of that kind of a shot. You can't let that get launched." So now Berber City's up against it, down 2-1. You were saying earlier, a 2-1 lead is probably all it's going to need to win the game. So Berber City has the whole rest of the half to try to tie it up. Last time they tied it up quick. This time, well, we'll see. That was a bad goal to give up, though. Now Chicago Nation can eat the clock a little bit on some of these possessions. When you're ahead 2-1, you can take a little bit more time to set up a quality shot. When you're down 1-2, you might be lucky to get a quality shot.
So the goals have been scored by Celis and Shidkichenko tonight. Those were 2 of the 3 guys that came in with goals on the season for Chi Nation. Chicago Nation has not trailed all night. As here's a chance for Berber. Blown dead by the Sir.
Yeah, I don't like that offside call. That would be something you have to replay back. For sure, Berber City was offside when the kick was made, but then became onside to go collect the kick. I don't think that's offside, but that's what they called.
Don't go anywhere. The post-game show brought to you by SBS. Coming up next, as of now, it'll be Miguel Celis.
But to be fair, we're at midfield, so we don't see the angles like the referee does, and certainly not like the line judge has.
But I thought all refs are blind. That's what the parents have taught me.
Wasn't it an umpire one time threw out the organist who played Three Blind Mice in a baseball game?
Oh, yeah, that was phenomenal. You know, people are saying, oh, that umpire is captain of the fun police. That's uncalled for. The umpire, he's trying his best, man. You don't play that song. You don't do it.
I think you play that song, and the umpire should just make the right call, so he doesn't need to play that song.
It's just, there's an unwritten rule of sports, and I think when you keep riding that line as a spectator, I can understand why the umpire would think that way. But this is coming from 15 years of umpire experience, so I'm a little bit tainted and biased.
You mean very much thin-skinned?
Maybe a little bit.
Anyway, that kick was like a 60-yard boot from midfield. I don't know what they're thinking. It wasn't sent to a player. Obviously, the intent was to maybe send it toward the goalie, and maybe he was not looking. I mean, I don't get it. Anyway, now a lot of time goes by. Maybe that's the purpose of it. He had to go chase that ball.
You would think because we didn't have any extra time in the first half, would the ref change his mind and issue more extra time in the second half?
Well, I think the precedent is set that unless there's some kind of a major injury, a couple of shags behind the net aren't going to give him extra time. So, maybe that was the reason that Nation booted it into the next zip code.
Shidkichenko, this time he'll offload it to Alami, his left-footed boot. Maybe a lack of communication between Alami and his fellow forward. Meanwhile, Chicago still with it.
Now, I think also if I'm Berber City, I'm taking one of my bench players and say, oh, you go play behind the goalie. We can't afford losing more time.
Partner, for Berber City, what numbers are going to have to get the ball if they're going to tie the score? That pass. Right through two defenders and then stolen away by Berber.
Well, clearly center forwards are going to be where you want the ball to go. So the midfielders on the edge are going to have to bring the ball up, right, and then ultimately center it to the center forwards. And that's where the goals need to come from.
The text line's open. Your favorite soccer memory, MLS and World Cup, do count. You can text 330-957-7653, and we'll read your text live on the air. All FCC regulations do apply.
Right now, Berber City is playing with one striker up front, number 10.
And it's Giazzi who has the lone goal for Burbs. Left-footed boot. He's onside. We play on. And that shot wide. Bob, do you think it was a shot or maybe a tap pass?
Oh, absolutely. A pass to the right side. There's a player running on that far post. I mean, if that pass connected, they had nothing but net. But, yeah, that pass had to bounce through a few defenders to get to there. But, that, soccer, that's what you do. You take some low-percentage passes like that with a chance for a goal.
So our stat guy agrees with you. He says crosser, we play on. And I kind of agree with the stat guy now that I rewatched the play. You had a trailer on the play on the potential crosser. 16-5, 8 shots on goal for Chicago, just 2 for Berber. And if you're a Berber fan, Bob, that's just not going to get it done.
Well, yeah. I mean, usually the trends finish that way. It's rare when you win a game when you've been totally outshot like this. I mean, outshot 8-7 is one thing, but outshot to this degree, it's going to be hard to get that next goal.
Percentages. 40% shot on goal for Berber City, 50% shot on goal for Chicago Nation.
The key stat there is the total shots on goal.
Yeah, 8 to just 2. Hard to win matches when you only have 2 shots on goal. Here we go. Here comes Berber. That might be a PK.
Yep. And that's what we were talking about earlier. That's another way to score a goal. And again, Berber City, it did not take too long to get into position to score another goal after Chicago Nation got their goal. So, penalty kick here, I'm assuming it's going to be good, but what's the percent of a penalty kick? 75%, something like that? But they need this goal because they're not going to get too many chances to tie the game up. But that's why you carry the ball in the penalty box area. Then if you get tackled, if they miss the ball, you go flying and you get your penalty kick. Well played by Berber City.
So
I'm not a fan of penalty kicks counting as much as a regular goal, but that's the rules.
It's going to be number 10, Samir Ghiazi, to take it. And I think this is going to be a goal.
Well, odds are good. He is their lone forward, lone striker up front.
Ball is live after it's kicked. You can get a rebound goal. Goal! Samir Ghiazi, the best goal scorer for Berber City, and it shows on that play.
Tie score 2-2. Amazing. So Chicago Nation has had twice 1-goal leads and was unable to hold them. Now that's something the team needs to talk about. When you have a goal lead, what do? Do you stay in your same system, or do you go into more of a defensive shell? So right now, again, Chicago Nation, there's no reason to change their approach here because they've scored first both times. So their hope now is to score first a third time.
Debeneghi went one way and the ball went the other.
He also did a very, very good job of taking a fast approach and then slowing the approach, and then he could see which way Debeneghi was leaning, and then he put the kick in.
Well, goal by Samir Ghiazi, as we might have to recheck who we have in the postgame show. That's now 2 goals for Ghiazi. See if Shidkichenko and the Chicago Nation offense can answer.
No call on the handball. Everybody in the stadium saw the handball except for the referee, and no help from the side judge.
And by the way, if you're wondering, if it goes off the chest first and then the hand, doesn't matter. It's still a handball if it goes off any part of the hand, which is
There's
different.
A push from behind. That should be called. It will be. And I think we're safe to say the game's getting a little chippier now.
Yeah, it looked like it was an elbow pass from a Berber City player. Pretty blatant. And that's a big no call because the ball would have been placed at the 20. It would be near touch line, so nothing's guaranteed on a free kick that far from the net, but still.
You just get the feeling that that was their attempt at payback on the handball. You touch it with your hands, I'm going to deck you.
Inside the 30. Can Berber City squeeze by with a victory even though they've been outshot by a wide margin? Header. Third time today, taking one for the team. The header, and then he falls hard to the turf.
Yeah, three people fell hard to the turf, and the turf is hard.
Here we go. Breakaway for Chicago. Offside.
I did not see that coming. I would love to replay that and see if that was really offside, but I'm sure they're on it.
So, Bob, for the young audience that's watching tonight that doesn't know what offsides means, why did the ref call offside there?
When you pass the ball, when you've contacted the ball, your player has to be on this side of the other team's defense. If the player gets to the other side of the other team's defense and you kick it, and then they receive the ball, then they are offside.
Yeah, he was way past the last foot. It's a clear offside. And you know, partner, Chicago didn't even argue it.
Well, because it was clearly offside, as you just verified.
Usually, like, if it's close, they argue.
Yeah,
but
players know. Players know if it's offside. I mean, obviously, there's going to be close, right? But players know.
Miguel Salas, that would have been his second goal of the night, and it might have been the dagger. Meanwhile, Berber attacks again. No handball. I think it went off the chest. Chance for Ghiazi. And that's all ball, no penalty kick.
Yeah, or at least no call there. And it is a corner kick. Of course, if it's a corner kick, that clearly means he got the ball.
Yeah, the Chicago Nation player was falling down, as was the...
Well, this is a golden opportunity for Berber City. It seems like that second goal really has energized them. And for some reason, after they get scored upon, that's when the burst of energy comes out. Berber City definitely does not want to get beat. And when they get behind, they give it everything they can. Those are right-footed boot from the corner. So it'll curl away from the net.
Be heartbreaking for Chicago as that corner. And I think it was last touched by Berber. Let's see what the ref says.
They're giving it to Berber City on the.
What do you think, Bob? I think it was last touched by Berber.
I actually thought it was last touched by Berber. I thought it went off the back of one of their players, but we're 5,000 yards away. It's hard to make that judgment. But the referee decided it went off Chicago Nation. and we're throwing it in from the side.
If it's initially touched by Berber, but then last touched by Chicago, then of course it's Berber's throw-in.
Right.
Well, that's the thing about being a ref. 50% of the fans love you, 50% of the fans, not so much.
I'd like to see a stronger throw-in. Now, he got hit from behind.
Right.
I think he might be embellishing that. Now, I'm not saying he didn't get hurt, but if you can embellish a little and talk the ref into it's a penalty, you do get a penalty kick on that.
Are you surprised that there's not a forward near the touch line to get a little tap throw-in and maybe do a pseudo corner or pseudo free kick?
No, I can't say I'm surprised about that, but I am a little surprised that the throw-in went so far away from even the near post. I feel like it should have been a stronger throw-in to get more towards in the middle. I think I would like to have seen a little bit more strength on the throw-in. I think you can throw it further from the side.
Anthony Satera on the throw-in.
Now it's a little different alignment for Berber City. They got 3 people on the line. Again, it's a short throw-in.
He just fell down.
He was hoping to get the push from behind call.
That shot easily saved by
That was a good on-net kick. Again, one bouncer into the what was close to the post.
Satera on the shot. The shot on goal percentage, Bob, it's great. It's 5-8. 5 shots on goal, 8 total. Not so much for Chicago. 16 shots, but just 8 on goal.
Kind of reminds me of, you would say Tale of Two Cities, right? Chicago Nation was dominating in the first half, and you could argue Berber City's doing a nice little domination, maybe not this whole entire half, but certainly last X number of minutes. There's a push from behind. You're going to get another free kick from there. So you're going to see a high-flying, far post pass looking for a deflection.
For all of these you wondering, in the first half, it was 14-5 in terms of shots. Now, in the second half, Berber is leading in shots 3-2. Now, they could have had a breakaway, did Chicago Nation, but Sellis was offside.
Well, yeah, I don't. Yeah, to me that's not almost. I mean, if you're offside, you didn't almost have a shot coming.
Free kick coming up. Here's Iraqi. That ball still on the turf. Devin Eghai able to corral it.
Boy, that was close. If that ball was deflected, Devin Eghai had to wait before he took that dive. It could have been deflected, wasn't, and then he had to quickly get it when it wasn't deflected. That was, I don't know, eerily close.
Great hand-eye coordination by Devin Eghai, making for that mistake he made in the first half.
Well, that's why he's one of the best goalies there is.
One of the best in the UPSL. Look at that nutmeg. Still with it. Trying to feed it back to his midfielder, and does. Look at these moves. And after all that, it's going to be a throw-in awarded for Berber.
Yeah, I thought it went out the other direction, but...
Yeah, I was surprised that...
having the Bob Uecker seats, though, it's hard to tell. Boy, we got a good one today.
Sure do. Just feels like a game Chicago Nation should have in the bag, though.
Well, and they probably still feel that way. It's just a 2-2 game with some more time to go.
Remember, if you're wondering and you're watching this broadcast, we didn't get any extra time in the first half, and Bob brought up a good point. The precedent has been set. I don't think we're going to have a lot of extra time, if any, in the second half. The time to strike is now if you're Chicago.
So it could be a third draw.
Man, that'd be heartbreaking. 3 draws at home. Can't win titles when you draw opponents. That header was the last touch by Berber, and it was.
Yeah, you're going to get the corner.
I like this. Up-tempo, speed it up a little bit so that Berber can't set their defense quickly.
Well, you're always able to set your defense on a corner kick.
Yeah, if you do it quick enough, maybe the defense is out of sorts a little bit. Here we go. Pretty quick setup. Here's the set piece. In the box. Can't clear it. Now they do. Straight up in the air.
It had to hurt.
This is a big rivalry between Chicago and Berber. Last time we broadcast both teams, it was back in 2021 at IIT. That game ended on a penalty kick. Cleared away by Salazar at the 40-yard line. Header off the foot. Here comes Chicago. Leading the way is Odor. That's a handball. Oh, boy, a double whammy against Iraqi. He committed the handball, and then the ball bounced and hit his face. He's 0 for 2.
That's karma, right? The ball says you're going to use
That's what
your
happens,
hands,
right?
I'm
When
gonna
you
hit in
cheat, then the
face.
ball gets hit in your face.
Yeah. That might be trying too hard to get a goal from a bad angle. Oh, it got deflected. It's a corner. My bad.
Yeah, I agree. I definitely think it went off the feet of a Berber player or players.
Yeah, they get a corner kick out of that.
Because it took a weird spinning action as it entered the end line. That's what the ref's looking for. He's listening, and then he's looking for a different spin action for a potential deflection. Shidkichenko, here we go. Zaha, shot!
Got it.
Go! Zaha, Shidkichenko. That's not quite the dagger yet, but that one hurts if you're a Berber fan. Bob, how did he get that in the back of net? That was from a tough angle.
It was from a tough angle. Right along the net, yeah. The goalie, hugged the near post and left just a little bit of room on the far post. He didn't waste any time in launching it and hit just behind the post on the far side out of the goalie's reach. And he had some pace on the ball, too. Kicked it with his left foot. Just a great play. Had to deke the defender first to get to that point. Well played goal. And to your point, they rushed to the corner kick as if they were trying to keep Berber City from setting up on defense.
Or just try to get them out of sorts a little bit, get them out of rhythm.
Yeah, that was a real nice little set play in the corner.
How do you regroup here if you're Ayman, Iraqi, and this Berber City team?
Every now and then, I always like to hit the ball on the far post and hope for the deflection, which they had a great corner shot earlier, and it was booted as opposed to with the head, just went wide. And this almost the same exact, it's not the same situation, the same corner, right? But then they took the near pass rather than the far post pass. That was hit first by the ball. It'll be a corner here.
How do you regroup if you're Berber City? Back and forth we go. Now they're down by a goal again.
Well, Berber has come back twice, so there's no reason to think they won't come back a third time. But the game is getting shorter and shorter, and they're getting more tired and more tired. And another corner kick. Again, I'm not a fan of that short pass from the corner. I like to see the far post deflection. But Berber City, it's almost like monkey see, monkey do. It worked for Chicago Nation, so let's see if we can't make that work for us as well. All right, now they got more people on the line, so this will be a far post shot.
It's asking a lot out of your offense to score 3 goals to at least get 1 point tonight, but that's the position that Berber is in.
Yeah, and time running out.
We're at 67-12 right now. We play 90 at least, maybe 2 minutes of extra time. We'll see. Here's the corner. Up in the air to the far post. Header, loose on the turf. Who will win this battle? Berber wins it. Couple of nice moves. And corner again coming up.
Now, he made a nice move to the right, and he could have kicked it and maybe centered it from there. But if it's deflected, it goes into the middle of the field. But if he makes one more move back to the left, takes a flatter pass along the net, if it gets deflected, you get another corner kick. I expect this to be another far post pass.
Here's Pacheco, his corner. Read well by Chicago. It's going to be a foul on Berber.
I think that he knew he wasn't going to head that ball, and he decided to punish the defender. That was if you're going to card somebody, we haven't seen the card yet. That's the kind of play that.
Yeah, we have one yellow card for Berber.
Yeah, this to me could have been another one. That was a punishing blow to the guy that got the header.
Great save, great shot on goal percentage as we have a potential injury on the pitch. As our videographer will zoom in, there he goes.
Luckily, no broken bones on it or anything like that, right? But certainly the wind knocked out of him for a period of time there. Yeah, that was a hard hit. In my view, uncalled for, but...
Yeah, it definitely seemed yellow card-ish. Not red card, obviously, but definitely yellow card-ish.
But we had talked about this earlier. Maybe it got a little bit chippy in the middle here, but it hasn't been an overly physical game. As a referee, I don't think I would be passing out yellow cards if you don't really need to. Referees use yellow cards kind of to control the game, and this one, they don't need to control the game in terms of the physicality. They just need to control the game and make sure that the ball goes off the right players.
Well, at SBS, we do the 3 stars of the match. Thus far, The third one has been Celis. Second one, Samir Ghiazi, and of course, number one, Zaha Shidkichenko.
Well, you picked all three from Nation, right?
No, Ghiazi plays for Berber.
Oh, yeah, right, number 10. I never like when we pick those three players too early before the game is done. I think after the third game of the NBA season, you've already got Jokic pegged as the MVP.
So far for the NFL, so far Sam Darnold's the MVP. Man, has he been great.
Yeah.
He had 4 touchdown passes today. Not too bad for a guy that the Jets and the Panthers wanted to get rid of. But, you know, sports are like that. As here's a good tap pass over to Shidkichenko, but he couldn't handle it. You know, you think of those one day in the sun players. That backup quarterback for the Packers that threw 6 touchdown passes in a game and then you never heard of him again.
Yeah, Flynn. Here's another card coming.
Some talking back to the ref and to Iraqi.
Yeah, I like the ref sprinted in just in case there's any more interaction between the players, and then out comes the yellow card. He's doing a great job controlling the game. Now, I think that we talked about it getting a little bit chippy. It seems like it's chippier when Chicago Nation has a lead than when it's even. So we'll have to kind of keep an eye on that, see if it stays chippy until Berber City can get the game tied, if they can even get the game tied.
And here we go. We'll reset.
Restart that.
Time running out for Berber City.
Not out of bounds. That was a bad pass. I have to say, I would have passed it over to the right side and switched the field, but he didn't.
And we've seen some good and bad passes from Berber. We've seen the good version of Caleb Williams and the bad version.
Oh, no. Comparing him to Rex Grossman.
You say Rex Grossman?
Grossman. You know, good Rex, bad Rex. You weren't around for that?
Of course I was. McMahon I wasn't.
Yeah, but there was never a bad McMahon. There was always a good McMahon.
When he showed up to practice, which was 25% of the time. At throwing. You surprised they didn't call a foul there?
No, I didn't see a foul.
And I'm surprised Salazar waited to get that ball. That was a chance for a breakaway for Chicago Nation.
Well, and if he kicked it the wrong direction, it could have been deflected in. But yeah, he took a bit of his time to get to the ball. But safely kicked it away, and now they're already at the front third. With numbers.
Look at that pass in the box. Out in front, left-footed boot, cleared.
Yeah, Chicago Nation has to be a little bit afraid when that ball's in the box and not with their possession.
That was Miguel Celis who touched it last. Back to the keeper and Salazar. Text line still open, 330-957-7653. Out to the near touch line. As Benavides had the ball last. And here comes Benavides. Benavides on his right foot. Out in front. Falling to the turf, but Iraqi had it briefly. It's a little bit slippery from the rain earlier. Iraqi, that pass. Straight up in the air. Good job avoiding the foul by Chicago, and then they clear it. Every time that Berber is on the attack, Chicago's there with the counter. 2-on-3 now. Here comes Chicago. Now they'll slow it down. Stop and start move. Out in front. Shidkichenko, and now he'll slow it down. Shidkichenko with 2 goals thus far. Ghiazi on the opposite team with 2. Back to the 40-yard line, 50 yards away from the net. And, Bob, you don't have to score if you don't want to. You can play a little keep away.
Well, using up the clock isn't a bad thing. There is going to be a penalty kick from there. Well, a free kick from there.
Well, yeah, not a
Yeah, but a free kick from there. And that's not a good spot to have a free kick from. It's straight on, so you have to guard the whole goal. You're going to rely on the wall to cover part of the net.
3 guesses who will have this ball, and it rhymes with Bidfif-Penko. Although it could be Celis. I think you go with the hot hand. I mean, Zaha almost had a hat trick tonight.
Well, you build the wall on the right side of the goalkeeper, and then you're looking for a shot that bends around the net. You've got to guard the goalie's left side of the net and hope the wall does the job on the right. I think it'll be a shot-on attempt.
So Celis on the left, Shidkichenko on the right. That shot easily saved by Salazar. Are you surprised they didn't go to Shidkichenko?
Well, I mean, he was there for the kick, so I think, you know, you can't guard both the left-footed guy and the right-footed guy, and they just chose to use the right-footed guy.
And they chose
That's
poorly.
why he saw a wall on both sides, too, because he couldn't really be sure left foot or right foot.
Nice move by Van Son, his pass. He was trying to feed Samir Ghiazi. He's been so good tonight, Bob. If you're Chicago, oh my goodness, that might be a yellow card.
No, it's just a push from behind, and then, you know, if you feel yourself pushed from behind, you go flying to make sure the ref calls it.
A little bit of chippiness after the play was over.
He was like, "Why did you push me?" He probably didn't say it that politely.
What happens if you fall too much in a soccer match?
You get scrapes.
You become a push over. Do you have the notes?
Yeah.
I need them.
I have them on my phone.
Text them to, or take a screenshot and text them to me.
Okay.
Here we go. Chicago up 3-2. Is that free kick off the foot? Near the
Berber's
25.
got numbers in the box. They've only got 2 defenders back, and I like that. They are pressing to get that last goal to tie it. There's going to be a shot. Blocked. This is why Berber City's been able to tie the game twice. I like that they're not leaving 4 defenders on the one striker for Chicago Nation. So they're giving it everything they got in the forward box to try to tie this game up.
So our 224 texter, our first one of the text line, that Landon Donovan goal against Algeria 2010. Let's go Round Lake Evolution. I always love when we get the text line going. You know,
from 2010?
Yeah, that was back when you were a relevant volleyball coach.
I didn't know we had texting back then.
What? I remember texting on the old phones. The Gen Zers and the Gen Alphas don't know about it, but you used to have a phone where you'd have to slide the keyboard out, and then you would text like it's a laptop. I miss those phones. I miss the old flip phones, too, trying to watch videos on a little screen off the flip phone. That's why, if you have a chance and you're on Hulu, they have a movie called Blackberry, and it's about how the Blackberries were so influential when they came out because they were so much better than the typical flip phone. And of course, Apple, they made the iPhone and they just put the BlackBerry out of business. But I remember back in the year 2009 when you would have the little sliding action to text. You know, partner, Chicago's probably going to win this match, but what are the things that they need to work on? Because it wasn't a perfect match by any stretch of the imagination tonight for Chicago.
What do they need to work on? First off, I think a little bit more intensity, a little bit more speed. They're known for speed, and I think they have to get back to that more of a speed game, right? And then the typical stuff, right? Shorter, quicker passers, passes higher percentage, and then when you get the chance to shoot on goal, don't shoot wide. Look for rebounds because you're shooting on goal now as opposed to aiming for corners. I think you work on all that and you're in pretty good shape. You got one of the best goalies there is. You miss somebody like Sutton. You ask him if he can come back at least coach you occasionally.
Berber City was offsides twice, just once for Chicago. Too many fouls committed by Berber. 9 fouls. That's not going to get it done. Parter, when you have almost as many fouls as here's a chance for Chicago, Salazar gets it. They almost have as many fouls as shots. That's not good.
Well, there is a level of aggressiveness in that.
Being overly aggressive.
I think it's Bolivia that is one of those teams that, or maybe it's Uruguay. They're the team that just constant fouling. But never, they know what they're doing. It's just fouls. It's never yellow card worthy foul. But that really slows down the other team. Here we go on the side again. Danger, danger.
Yeah, as they do a little pass backwards from Pacheco over to Riley Binns.
Offsides.
That's now the 3rd offsides against Berber.
That was excellent defense by Chicago Nation. They saw that there's somebody close to the defensive line, then they pushed up, and then the pass got made, and then that caused the offsides. That's risky in your own zone like that, in your own end like that, but it was well played defensively that gave them the turnover.
Each team has committed a yellow card. 7 saves for Salazar, 4 for Debeneghay. And really only 1 goal was his fault. The second one is a penalty kick. You really have no chance if you're the keeper.
Number 8 just went in for Berber City.
How come you're not going in? Didn't I see you warming up with the ball 5 minutes ago?
I did have a couple of kicks when I was down there talking to the players, and they were perfect passes right back to them.
You should be in there. Berber's been struggling with the passing a little bit.
No call. There's a case where the player falls down, looks at the ref. Can you bail me out?
Well, that's a good guy to have in there, Bob. David Zarpong. He had the only goal besides Giazzi coming into this one.
Well, he's in now.
So why do you think he didn't start tonight?
I don't have a good answer for that.
You know, we've seen that before. At the end of Landon Donovan's career, he would come off the bench because possibly his conditioning wasn't there. And he did not make that 2014 World Cup team, Bob. If you remember, there was a big uproar on social media about that.
Yeah, it's tough when players that good don't make a team, if for no other reason than a popular choice in the advanced stage. You know, Taurasi and the WNBA got that benefit. The U.S. national women's team didn't give Alex Morgan that benefit.
Who do you consider to be the best American soccer player of all time?
Of all time? Oh, boy.
Do you go with Donovan? Maybe Clint Dempsey?
Well, I wouldn't pick Dempsey. I mean, I think you almost have to say Donovan.
Tim Howard or no?
Yeah, I wouldn't pick a goalie. That just doesn't seem right.
I love how you always say goalie and you never say keeper.
I know.
You stay Americanized as much as possible when it comes to your soccer terminologies. Last call for the text line, 330-957-7653.
Yeah, even my daughter knows better, and she calls it a keeper.
Does she call it a pitch or a field?
No, she would be a field because, again, she grew up playing American soccer.
Is it a game or a match?
It's a soccer game.
Is it a throw-in or overhead pass?
Is it a throw-in? I call it a throw-in.
All right. I used to call it overhead pass, and the soccer purist said, no, throw in.
Another one would be a tie or a draw. And is it scores even or is it level?
Is it the game-tying goal or the equalizer?
Well, both work in that case.
Soccer, technically, you're supposed to say equalizer.
No, I haven't read that book.
According to Ian Dark, you're always supposed to say equalizer. It's always fun watching a soccer game with British commentators. Well, partner, time running out of time right now for Berber. We're at 81-55. Now we got an injury. We'll stick with the action. We're probably going to have 92, 93 minutes of total soccer action tonight.
But I like, again, what Berber is doing. They've only got one defender back. They got the other 9 people essentially forward, so they are pushing. Now, they're risking, of course, a breakout from Chicago Nation, but, if you lose by 2, who cares? You lose, right? But if you push forward and you can get that, equalizer goal, that's what you're trying to accomplish here, and they are pressing forward with all 9 players besides that one defender. Even the goalie, even the keeper is pushed up, but that doesn't really help.
Araki with the kick. Off the body of Araki, out of bounds.
Yeah, if he got out of the way of that ball would have been sent up to here.
And Bob, the other thing is, too, we need to see somebody else for Berber step up tonight. It's hard to rely on one player to do all the scoring, and it seems like every time the ball is past the 20-yard line, Giazzi has the ball. You'd like to see somebody else step up.
Well, that's their plan. I mean, that's why he's the lone striker up there. They're trying to funnel the ball to their best scorer, so everybody else does step up to get the ball to him, and then, of course, you see him with it, and he didn't give the effort to get the ball there.
Good separation. Shot blocked. Good shot that was blocked. That shot wide.
Yeah, I actually give a lot of credit to Berber City. I mean, Chicago Nation is a well-known good team. Fast, good defensive. They do score. They have some speed, and obviously they're kind of outplaying Berber City, you might say. But Berber City is playing an excellent game themselves. They have their share of good players, their share of good hustle, and excellent passes that are hitting the mark.
So 2 shots on that possession, 1 blocked, 1 wide. So they should have 21 total.
And I like even though they kept falling behind by 1 goal, the fact that they were able to come back at least now twice, it shows a lot of moxie on their team. They've played,
Right.
even though they're losing, they've played a good game. I'm sure the coaching staff is going to be like, well, we need more from you guys, but they're doing well.
They don't have any subs too. That doesn't help. Not that Chicago has that many more. Only 8 subs for Chicago tonight.
Well, and sometimes you have 8 subs, but they don't go in, so it's kind of the same difference.
Right. I mean, eventually you'll put them in, as that's a push and a foul.
Yeah.
Still a 1-goal game. You got to be careful if you're Chicago.
Well, and that's the thing too. When do you go into kind of a defensive shell to make sure you win by 1, rather than continue to play the same game plan where you're trying to score, with balance offense, balance defense? When do you overload your defense?
If you're Chicago, do you force somebody else besides Giazzi to beat you?
If I'm them, I just play it straight up. Essentially, mark everybody.
Ooh, that was close.
Don't double team anybody. That was a good steal, and a risky one, but a good steal.
Yeah, it looked like he was trying to slide tackle at the Berber player. Risky to do in your own 18-yard box.
See, again, Berber City with just 2 defenders right now.
Got no choice. You're down by 1, and we're at 85 even now.
Well, as a result, they get some really good, numbers at midfield.
If you're Chicago, you don't have to score. He would have been onside if that ball had gone through.
Yes, he would have been.
Just a beautiful night for soccer, Bob.
Just a bit of a slippery field, but other than that, yeah, it's perfect temperature. It's not too hot. It's perfect for the players.
If you're Garrett Hayward, are you unhappy that your shot on goal percentage was under 50% tonight?
Yeah, I don't think I worry too much about that, frankly. I mean, you want to improve it, of course, if you can, but I mean, I'm not concerned about it, if you will. I think your team's getting good effort. They're ahead. The key stat of the game now is the time that's left.
Don't go anywhere. Post-game show brought to you by SBS is coming up next. Still got 3 more minutes of soccer at least. Lead pass, chance, slide tackle action, and picked up by Devin Eghay.
Yeah, you could have added an extra word in there. Safely picked up by Devin Eghay. I like this. Take it up slowly. Maintain as much possession as you can. Well, that's as much possession as you get.
That's why those passes on the touch lines are so difficult.
Well, otherwise it would have been a 50-50 boot to midfield. Anyway, Berber City's, like I said, they're good in their own right.
Just got to find somebody else offensively besides Giazzi. But like you said, they like to use him as their lone striker.
Yeah, it's like they funnel the ball to him, right? And that's the whole plan. And it's not like they're funneling it to a guy like, again, on my daughter's team. You'd funnel it up to her, and then she couldn't hit the broadside of a semi-truck.
Right. It's just the only opportunities, the great ones that Berber have had tonight, came off a mistake by Devin Eghay and a penalty kick. Look at that move.
Yeah.
Here comes Giazzi. Great move. The shot blocked. Giazzi not happy about it, but it looked like he just fell on his own accord.
Yeah, I don't know what he could be unhappy about. He hit the ball and followed through, and it just, ouch.
Well, and
it wasn't like
hurt.
he was given it 100. I mean, he was given 100% effort to try to get a goal on that. The only thing was he was there, and there were 3 defenders between him and the goal, and he still tried to kick it through there. I thought he was going to get a corner kick out of it if it was deflected, but it got deflected enough and slow, and the goalie was able to pick it up. Now, meanwhile, all this is happening. The clock is ticking.
Yeah, they'll get at least 2 to 4 minutes because we had that other injury before. My guess would be 94 minutes total.
Yeah, I'm gonna guess 90. I'm gonna say the precedent was set, no extra time.
Well, I mean, I think you have to at this point with the injuries. How about that sportsmanship by former Chicago Nation player Van Son and his former keeper in Devin Eghay? They hug it out. You know, brothers don't shake hands. Brothers got a hug. As Tommy Boy taught us, between Rob Lowe and Chris Farley. A movie that Bob has yet to see, which I disagree with entirely. Did you like Chris Farley on Saturday Night Live, Bob?
Well, he was funny as all get up, but I'm not a fan of that kind of comedy in general.
And are we getting a yellow card here?
A little bit too chatty back in the zone back here.
Yeah, it's a couple of players. It's
Meanwhile,
Shy Nation's Lebovic and Berber City's Iraqi.
I don't like this. The clock is ticking. Lay off the chatterbox, right, and you play the game. The referee probably does need to add a couple of minutes, but the question is, will he? And meanwhile, the ball went all the way, like I said, into the other zip code. Takes forever to get it back, and tick, tick, tick goes the clock.
Couple of Oscar Flores fans on the live chat. He's had a good game. At halftime, he had 3 shots. We'll give you the final stats, so don't go anywhere if you want the final stats. We're at 21 shots for Chicago, 11 for Berber. So many fouls, Bob. 10 for Berber City.
Well, we did say it got a little chippier in the second half.
High arching ball. Excellent hang time.
Oh, great pass.
Shitkichenko. Off the chest. Shot. Salazar able to corral it.
Yeah, I think I would have eaten some time and passed it away. I mean, it was on goal. I guess that's all right. But that's, the equivalent of a turnover again. You don't want to give Berber City multiple chances to tie this game. They have proven to be pretty good. But it was a solid shot, just unfortunately right at the goalie.
We do get extra time. We're at 90-43 right now.
Yeah, we just don't know how much. We're not real close to the fourth referee.
That lead pass. He's onside, and Salazar able to get that ball away from danger. Danger, Will Robinson. Only problem is now Berber has to go the length of the field for one last scoring opportunity. But at least they've got a chance. Down by a goal. Van Son with a nice move. Van Son on his right foot. Tap pass to the boundary. Can they keep it in? Shy Nation did not touch it. Throw-in coming up for Shy Nation. And, Bob, you can just keep passing the ball and see if Berber steals it. You don't have to score now.
Well, this is when I don't understand sometimes why soccer teams don't press. Like right here, okay, there's 4 Chicago Nation players back here, and nobody's getting pressured.
Might be just tired. They haven't been able to sub. They don't have any subs.
You run the risk of something running past you, but I think you also get the turnover. Oh, here, great pass.
Look at that pass to Shitkichenko. As that might be a penalty kick, but they don't call it.
Goal kick.
Are you surprised they didn't call a penalty kick there?
Oh, gosh, absolutely. He got the ball first. In fact, it's their goal kick. It was, frankly, excellent defense. But, when they do the slide tackle in the box, you have to make sure you hit that ball first.
Right. Did he get legs first or the ball? If he got ball, that's all that matters.
Yeah. And then it went off.
It's close, but I think he got ball. At that point, you're right. I mean, you're trying to get the ball back quickly, and the quickest way to do so is via slide tackle. If you're Chicago, try to force Berber to the sideline, get the ball away from the middle of the pitch.
Now they've got numbers here.
Here we go.
Don't get offside.
This time they stay onside. Good lead pass. Chance for Chicago. Shot. Beautiful save by Salazar.
That's why he gets paid the big bucks. That was a great save.
It's a tougher shot than it looks, Bob. You got to get that ball over the keeper's head, and he's right at you at point-blank range. Over to the touchline. Now near the end zone. Crosser blocked. Chicago looking to clear, and they do. They don't panic. They just get it out of the danger area. And a 2-on-1 coming up. Chance to ice this one. Lead pass right on target. Breakaway for Chicago. Out of the net is Salazar, who touched it last. And it indeed was off.
Going to get a goal kick.
We are now at 93-28. So my prediction of 94 looks good.
Yeah, it looks solid. This might be the last chance right here then. Last gasp.
Yeah. Yep, no choice but to just do a slow forward pass. You can't do a 50-50 ball because you're out of time.
Yeah, just bring everybody up on this. Oops. Got to remember the ball, though.
If Chicago gets into problems, just kick it out. Do not play with the ball in your own end.
No, the referee could be tempted to blow a whistle on that. Might be too far.
Got to get it out quick. See if was the last touch by Chicago.
Yeah, they're going to give him a chance for a corner here. I would suggest that when Nation gets the ball, that'll be the end of the game.
We're at 94-18. This will probably be the last chance for Berber.
I think the goalie should be out in front in that box. The defender should be out in front in that box.
Salazar is now at his own 35. Everybody's up and trying to score for Berber. Last chance for the visiting Berber City. Right-footed boot. Here we go. Cleared by Chicago.
Yeah, that went the wrong way. That was unfortunate.
And they'll play on. Stolen away, so.
Unfortunate for Berber City. Well, it looks like they're going to get one more chance here.
95 even now. It's a long second half. Crosser headed away. Another crosser. That was a good opportunity. Still alive in the box.
Oh,
that might do it.
Yeah.
Yep. Chicago Nation hangs on, but man, giving Garrett Hayward some gray hair is way too close for comfort if you're a Chicago Nation fan.
Maybe too close for comfort, but you got to say both teams played real well this game. And Nation came out just with the 1-goal lead. I feel like that first goal by Berber City was a little bit fortunate, but great game. Berber City just would not quit, and the referee gave them a fun 4 minutes there at the end, or a fun 5 minutes there at the end.
Yeah.
It was a great game for us to be here for.
So we're going to give you the final stats in a minute here. 23 shots for Chicago, just 11 for Berber City. And they were clearly outshot was Berber, but they were 2 feet away from scoring. Great job being able to read it was Devin Eghai at the end. So here we go, the final individual stats brought to you by Sports Broadcast Solutions. We talked about Shit-Kitchenko. How about this for a stat, Bob? 7 shots. 4 on goal, 2 goals.
Well, I will say that I felt like his speed was at another level compared to the other players. He's got speed, and he's willing to use it. And in the past, I felt like Nation kept up with that kind of speed, but today he stuck out. He deserved his 7 shots.
Meanwhile, other players for Chicago Nation, 5 shots for Monir Alami, 3 on goal. Cavi Garcia, we talked about him with 3. Oscar Flores, 2 shots and a goal, shot on goal. For Berber City, it was really the Samir Ghiazi show. We had 5 shots, 3 on goal, 2 goals. Only other person with 2 shots was Hayden Banson. It just felt like 1 on 11 all night. It felt like Samir Ghiazi against the entire Chicago Nation team, including and especially Zaha Shit-Kitchenko.
Well, I mean, I see how you felt that way, but I mean, Berber City did a terrific job at midfield. They didn't have, well, they have 4 defenders, but they used 2 of them primarily, and then the 2 outside defense, they helped play the midfield game, right? So as a result, there was a large portion of strength on Berber City's midfield game, and they were funneling the ball purposefully to Diaz. It was a well-played game by both teams, I have to say. Chicago Nation, just in this case, proved to be stronger. And I hate to use the words of my kid's, soccer coach, but whether you win 3-2 or lose 3-2, the better team won and the weaker team lost. Sometimes you feel like the better team lost, but that wasn't the case. Chicago Nation outplayed them and earned the win. And even though in soccer it's only a 1-goal win, it was a well-played 1-goal win.
It's a much-needed win for Chicago. You don't want to have 3 draws on your home pitch. This is a clear advantage because we've seen and we've been at pitches of other teams. They play on just Park District soccer fields. When Chicago plays on this beautiful college pitch, they don't want draws, and they, of course, don't want losses. They want victories, and they got it tonight.
Well, I felt like they had to earn it 3 times. They had to earn it at 1-0, earn it at 2-1, and earn it again at 3-2, because Berber City was quite challenging tonight. It was a well-played game.
They kept fighting. They were outgunned and outmanned, but they still found a way to stay in the game. But 23-11, way too many fouls committed by Berber. They got to clean that up in practice and played a decent game, but Chicago was the better team tonight. So let's do the 3 stars of the match. And, Bob, do you have any suggestions, or should we go with the ones that I alluded to earlier in the broadcast?
I think those 3 probably hold true.
So here's our 3 stars of the match brought to you by SBS. 3rd star, Miguel Celis. He scored to make it 1-0 Chicago. 2nd star, Samir Ghiazi. He had both Berber City's goals tonight. And the 1 star, no surprise prize here, 7 shots, 4 on goal, and the game-winning goal, Zaha Shidkichenko. So for the post-game show, we're going to try to get a 3-shot with both Shidkichenko and Miguel Celis. So for Excellent Crew, that does it for our play-by-play broadcast. Post-game show coming up next. For our Excellent Crew, for Alexander Mahamza, for Hayden Bales, for Sean Healy, for Matthew Sipes, Bob Vilsaway, I'm Kyle Smith, and post-game show coming up next, brought to you by SBS.
Not everyone gets to have their dream job, myself included. Yeah, some people are brewing delicious beer and serving fine food, like these group of guys in Glenview, who are basically living my best life. We're at 1090 Brewing. Gotta get out this nightmare. Brian, are you trying to play down the glamorous lifestyle of running and owning your own brewery by saying you're the night cleanup boy?
No, I'm actually telling the truth.
You're telling the truth?
We're just putting out fires and cleaning up messes, and that's how it works around
You are destroying the myth of all these home brewers sat there like, people love my beer, I'm gonna do this full-time, start my own brewery right now.
They have fantastic beers. They know what they're doing.
There's character to them.
Every beer tastes unique. We've always thought about flavor profiles in the food, and then we design a beer around it. And we like to incorporate our beer in virtually every dish.
And their food is fantastic.
Inventive.
It's huge that we've got a really good brewery and restaurant here in Glenview.
So what can we do today?
A pork brat with veal marinated in our half-wit beer with drunken onions. Then we're gonna make some beer tachos.
There's just nothing healthy in that dish at all.
Amen and hallelujah.
We are gonna prep our cheese sauce. Start grabbing some of the butter.
Which one's the butter? Which one's the cheese? Which one's the butter?
This is the butter. We're gonna get a nice golden brown color on that.
Hard work, Raul. I'm definitely gonna deserve this beer. We're ready to party, clearly, because both of us are wearing our Canadian tuxedos. We're like doubling up on denim here. So what beer are we using here,
We
Raul?
are using the Pilsner 1916. We are gonna reduce it a little bit.
The best way to reduce beer is to drink it first.
It's magical.
It's laughing at me. I wish I could brush my teeth with it. Might change the name from Canadian tuxedo to Glenview tuxedo. Oh wow, yeah, that smell.
Yeah.
When the root hits the beer, goodness.
We got some sharp cheddar cheese.
Would you wear a different Glenview tuxedo to go out on the town?
Well, it will depend on the occasion.
Friend's second wedding.
Absolutely white.
Show
Yep.
me. I'm with you.
Yep.
This would be like our Coles catalog. You can work in it and have fun as well.
All right, so we finish it with some black pepper, ground black pepper.
Just in time for the holidays. Get them for all your family.
Clark, that's the gift that keeps on giving the whole year.
And that's the beer cheese.
We are gonna make some drunken onions, and then we're gonna braise some bread.
And which beer are we using for this?
Half wheat.
Same as me.
The pen is getting deglazed. And
That's what I'm gonna say next time I'm having a few too many beers. I'm gonna say I'm getting deglazed.
Yep.
My work here is done.
Salute.
This is my show. Salute. Don't ever do that again.
All right.
Can we eat some food? Clink me.
Cheers. You're awfully quiet.
I'm chewing right now. That broth goes for the bath in the half where that beer has soaked through in that skin, inside that pork.
The sausage is happy. The onions are happy. The mustard's happy.
You know why that is?
The beer.
They're all drunk.
Let's try these tachos.
Glenview may no longer be known as the home of the Glenview tuxedo. It may be home now of Glenview's answer to poutine. That's sensational.
Thank you.
I'm so jealous of you guys living your dreams while I'm here working a regular job.
Sports Broadcast Solutions is a broadcasting network for everyone. SBS offers live telecasts on Channel 59.3, YouTube, or Twitch. We include pre- and post-game interviews with the players.
You know, I started in the locker room. All the boys were getting going before the game and stuff, and we kind of found a little click at the beginning of the game, so I think that's what got us going.
We also include digital live statistics, play-by-play commentary, team highlight reels, and even more than that. Go online to sportsbroadcastsolutions.com or search Sports Broadcast Solutions on YouTube. SBS, a broadcasting network for everyone.
Sports Broadcast Solutions is a broadcasting network for everyone. At SBS, we offer a professional broadcasting experience for the non-professional athlete. Just like the pros, we offer everything for you. Play-by-play commentary.
A no-hitter at Kane County Stadium. 15 strikeouts, 1 walk, 1 error, and that's it.
Color commentary, highlight reels, recruiting videos, and much, much more. Unlike our competitors, we zoom in on the action and always have a live scoreboard with a live time code. If you're ready to have your next sporting event feel like CBS Sports, then make sure to call Sports Broadcast Solutions today. Our phone number is 330-957-7653, or you can go online to sportsbroadcastsolutions.com. SBS, a broadcasting network for everyone.
Missing your child's sporting event just plain stinks. But you don't have to worry about that anymore, thanks to Sports Broadcast Solutions. SBS is a live broadcasting network, as well as
Welcome to the post-game show, brought to you by Sports Broadcast Solutions. I'm Kyle Smith, along with the SBS player of the game, Edgar Olaguas. A 3-2 win for Chicago Nation tonight as they outshot Berber City 23-11. When you think about that stat line, outshooting them by 12 shots, what does that mean to you?
You know, that's just credit to our work, credit to our tactics, what we're doing in the week. Just moving the ball around, making sure we get a finish, no dead plays, no lingering balls in the box, making sure we get shots on goal.
Zaha Shitkichenko, what else can you say? He had 7 shots, 4 on goal, and of course the game winner to give you guys the 3 points tonight.
I call him the Wonder Boy. He's Nation's Wonder Boy. He's amazing. He's so fast. He's electric with the ball. You expect that out of him every night.
As he told you his secret sauce, some of these plays, the shots are from tough angles, and he scored the game winner from a tough angle.
I always tell him, what's the secret juice you're drinking? Every time I see him taking a sip of something, I'm trying to get some, I'm trying to smell it. He's definitely special, definitely a special player.
Were you guys a little bit worried as Berber City kept attacking and kept battling late in the match? They had that late crosser. It almost went in, but Devin Eghai was Johnny on the spot, knocked it out of play, and you guys get the one goal win.
Yeah, you know what? Honestly, credit to them. They were fighting the whole game. It looked like we were about to take over, run the score up a little bit, but nope, naive to think that. Definitely a great side. I appreciate them coming out, doing their thing.
Samir Ghazi, he was tough to defend tonight. 2 goals tonight, including the penalty kick goal, but how did you guys regroup and find a way to win by 1 tonight?
We had to sharpen up in the back. Definitely talk to the center backs, the whole back line to watch for him. He was dangerous the whole game, attacking our back line. They had the wingers as well. It kept us on our feet. They had a little guy in the middle. He was tough to stop. Had us going crazy, running circles. Great team. Great team.
Your first home win here at College of DuPage Stadium. You got off the schneid. How does it feel?
Amazing. That's what we got to do at home. We can't tie. We can't lose. We got to look for the win every time, especially at home.
Final thoughts about the win as you guys try to advance in the Midwest Central Division?
Happy. Looking forward to it. It's Sunday, the Lord's Day. I love it. Happy to be out here.
That's our SBS player of the game. That does it for our post-game show. So for Bob Vilsaway, Hayden Bales, Matthew Sipes, Alexander Mahamza, Sean Healy, I'm Kyle Smith. We'll see you next time on SBS.